My name is Drinda Dye, and this is my sister, Dr. Pamela Markham. We're here today to give you some great information about one of our top-selling products called For Her, because it's going to help you with all the problems that are connected to menopause.
Yeah, perimenopause, menopause, and postmenopause. It helps all those. So any woman 40 and above, she may be starting to have some of these symptoms, and it helps balance all that and keep you feeling better. It has Estro G100. What that is a 400-year-old combination of Chinese herbs that are known to help women's problems and women's hormones. There are no side effects in the studies that they did on it or any weight gain. So that was awesome. But also there's ashwagandha, which is one of my favorite herbs because it lowers your cortisol. Cortisol is that stress hormone that makes you hold on to weight, and it also causes inflammation in the body. We call it cortisol face, where the face gets swollen. That's from cortisol levels. So this brings that down, helps relieve stress, helps your sleep, and helps your memory and cognition.
Yeah, and when you balance your hormones like this, it's going to relieve a host of problems that women face, especially at night when you're trying to sleep and you're waking up totally drenched in sweat, or, the hot flashes. And those can come day or night, doesn't matter, but it affects your mood. So this helps you with your mood swings. So you also are going to have some really solid long hours of sleep because you're not waking up. It also supports your respiratory system, your cardiovascular system, your bones. I mean, it just overall, it is something that all women need.
It is. It's one more thing that a lot of us go through is that brain fog that you get with menopause and unbalanced hormones. It gets rid of that so you think straight. It's anti-fatigue. And we have people saying that within a week their husband was like, "You're acting happier, you're sweeter."
So there's a host of reasons for you to try this product, and if you'd like to, just check it out with the link below, and you can look at the whole ball of wax.
Yeah, look at For Her is the name of it.
For Her.
And we'll talk with you later. Bye.
Take care.
Well, hello everyone. It's me, the snarky one. And yeah, we got a really big show for you today. How is everyone? How's everyone doing? And here we have my snarky website, if you want to call it that. And here we have my snarky website right here, where all of my videos are also posted here for your viewing pleasure. And of course, we're working on it. I'm going to get some more banners up here for Tribunals products as we talk about them. And of course, I want to thank my PayPals and the people who send me things and the people who buy me coffees. I'm going to get into some news stories. And yeah, let's get on with this show and a lot of other stuff. Okay, this is the number one big story. It's everybody's saying it's the end of the Democrat Party. I don't see how. I always think it is the end of the Democrat Party. But remember, there are people out there whose whole lives are, wrapped around the Democrat Party. Like, if they're not Democrat, they might. It's almost like you're killing them, But it's not our fault. Look, I'm nonpartisan. We should all have the same goal in my mind. So I'm an independent, always have been. But I've never seen people act like this before. I mean, they are totally brainwashed. At least the Republican Party knows when their party's been overthrown. Good grief, these people don't have a clue. They just go along just like World War II. That's the real part. One of the things that drives me crazy is the fact that they're calling everybody else Nazis, number one, when they're the ones that are the actual Nazis. And I mean that literally because of Operation Paperclip and all of the Nazis that came over here. Most of them went right into the Democrat Party. And so, yeah, sure, Republicans got some of them as well. But they seem to have all gravitated to the Democrat side because it was a lot easier to manipulate. Well, that's what Hillary said. Anyway, I digress. It's shocking to me that people actually think this way, and call themselves, quote, liberals. It's so upside down. So, yeah, it remains the number one story, and they're threatening other cities. I have a feeling that threat won't hold up for very long because I absolutely have 100%, 1,000% faith in our commander-in-chief and the people behind the scenes that we don't see and all the people actually in front of the scenes that we do see. I don't think they're going to put up with this shit. Now this guy, this guy was on Gutfeld last night, and he was saying that the only thing he could think of when he saw this guy was, is he real? See, people are starting to really wonder what's wrong with these people. This guy said his skin looked like it was made out of Velcro or something. Plus, look at his little tiny hands. Plus, he wrote this hate-filled manifesto accusing President Trump of being hateful. These people, they just don't see how they look. And this is just a creepy looking person. I said that myself, but then this guy validated it for me on last night's Gutfeld. He was real funny. He doesn't accept it either as a human being. Now, I got this freeze of Gavin Newsom when he was going through his failed address. I saw part of it, and he was kind of going off like a rabid dog, trying to convince everybody that Trump is a dictator when he's the one that ran the whole state into the ground this whole time with the fires and the earthquakes and everything else that they've suffered through. The George Floyd hoax, all of it. And so look at him. He's almost like foaming at the mouth, or you can almost see the lizard, the reptile that's in there. Okay, I've said it time and time again, and let me go back here for a second. These people right here, if it was set up so that you could get some money for leaving, and also you would have a chance to come back. We don't want you back now. Now we don't want you back. Now that you're trying to blackmail us, the greatest country on earth, now that you're trying to blackmail us and you're burning our flag and you're waving your flag, we're going to throw you back over the border, okay? That's what they should just do. The ICE agents should literally pitch them over the border. So we don't want them, and we don't want this. We don't want what a joke our country is. Really, what a joke. We have clowns for politicians, literally. And this looks like a bag lady who wandered into the Pentagon one day and they just hired him, it, them, whatever. And on top of it, it's butt ugly, I mean, I don't know how you could even make this attractive. But it doesn't look sane either. And when it opens its mouth and speaks, it even appears to be less sane. It's just like a circus clown. How did we get here when this kind of person can get into Congress? I don't want to see this shit when we're talking about government and stuff like that. I want to see people who look responsible, more responsible than me, okay? Whew, man. Yeah, so Newsmax had this graphic called the Preposterous Party. It's a free-for-all out there on YouTube, at least in my subscriptions and on the top stories. And when I click through, they are just losing big time. Of course, I don't follow CNN or any of those, MSNBC or anything like that. I get enough of it just following Fox, you know. They end up talking about it. And so do all these other creators. They end up mocking The View and everything. So by proxy, I end up having to suffer through it, which I try to run over to the keyboard and fast forward through it so I don't have to listen to it, because it's just disgusting farm noises coming out to me. Anyway, it upsets my whole, my whole karmic vibe. Anyway, this makes me laugh. Now, Lauren, he asked a question. Why can't anyone look somewhat natural? People are starting to catch on. They're starting to ask questions. And this is supposed to be Kris Jenner. No, that's not her. That's not her. No, it's a different person. They tried to do the flip with the hair, but no, I don't think so. I don't think that's her. Either way, it's if it looks different, it's a clone. You know that. And the clones aren't doing so well. So I think this is a double. If you go back on it and just look at the face features, the shape of the lips and stuff, yeah. There he is. That does not look real. When I saw it, look at his little hands. His little tiny little hands. This guy's just creepy. Anyway, he got fired. Don't forget to check out redpillliving.com/snarky. Another one of my favorites, black seed oil. It's actually Carbon Shield 60 in black seed oil. I take that every day right here at redpillliving.com/snarky. And now it's time for viewer mail. And these are some buy me a coffee. And thank you guys so much. My friend John bought me a lot of coffees. Thank you, John. Thank you so much. Let's see. John says he's eating lots of dandelion greens daily. And yeah. Well, okay. There ain't nothing wrong with that. This was, I'm not sure when this was sent, but let me see here. Oh, the end of May 27th. John bought me a lot of coffees. Thank you, John, so much. And says he's eating a lot of dandelion greens, which sounds good to me. I mean, dandelion root is something that I take sometimes in supplements. And I have a new monthly supporter, someone. Thank you, someone. She said, God bless you, Linda, or he, either one. I don't want to misgender anybody. I do that a lot. When I do my viewer mail, I do that a lot. Anyway, he or she says, God bless you, Linda. Thank you so much. God bless you, too. And then Take Heed 777 bought me a lot of coffees and talks about lemon, grapefruit, and the melon rinds. YouTube have it. You're not the first person who said that. YouTube has you blocked. I don't have anybody blocked, so I'm not quite sure what's going on with that. I'll have to check and make sure I didn't accidentally hit something. But I don't have anybody blocked that I know of. I didn't do it on purpose if I do. So I'll take a second look at that, because you're not the first person that said that. Yeah, talking about lemon and using it to clean hands and what does it say? I work oil fields in Texas, and we use the lemon citrus powder in spray washers for frac site cleanup. Go figure, right? Well, you know what? Not really, because they say that in a lot of organic books, talking about a lot, all different kinds of things you can use as cleaning products, natural things as cleaning products, because cleaning products are so harmful. And also, lemons come up a lot. And also, don't forget, a lot of manufacturers, they have lemon pledge, lemon this, lemon that. Because citric acid is known for cutting through dirt, and so is vinegar, white vinegar especially. And so, yeah, I totally believe this. Well, there you go. You say it. Whole lemons in the blender along with apple cider vinegar. All, with cinnamon. Yeah, cinnamon has a lot of properties in it, too. So that's kind of like what my Happy Human is a lot about, is taking advantage of the things that are already out there in nature. And when they're mimicking it, like lemon pledge or whatever, try just using lemon oil, lemon and oil. Or there is lemon oil, and you can put that in with other oils and cleaners. Anyway, I'll probably get a lot into that into my, and I will save this to present on my Happy Human. How about that one? Okay, right off the top, I want to thank my friend Carl, who did me he didn't do it for me, but he did a beautiful painting of Bigfoot. And I'll flash a picture of it. And he also gave me the Jesus painting, which I love because there's a spaceship up there. And I call it Space Jesus. And so, so thank you for that, Carl, because it is beautiful. I do love it. And also I want to thank Harry for some beautiful flowers that he sent me. Thank you, Harry. I could very well leave you out. I just got those today. And also I went to the post office the other day, and I want to thank, hold on. I want to thank Phil. Thank you, Phil. And you sent me a nice donation and a little card thingy. And then from Corey, Mr. Corey. That's so not your name, but anyway, Mr. Corey. It's talking about brown recluse spider bites, which that one I had, I really think it was a serious thing because it was just awful. I had night sweats and it took me a long time for it to go away. It was just terrible. So anyway, he says, this cures brown recluse bites. Take a leaf from an aloe vera plant, cut it open, and let the gel stay in contact with the bite. Tape it over the bite if you have to. Any questions? And then he gave me his email. Actually, I have an aloe vera plant, and I didn't even think about that, but thank you. I will remember that in case that happens to me again. There's a lot of spiders here. Okay, here's a current look at the, it's my YouTube feed. I put LA riots in there because I wanted to see how they were describing this thing. As you can see, these are not peaceful. All of these things, all of downtown Los Angeles has been declared an unlawful assembly. All of these stories are, no matter what the headline says, I searched riots. So that is one of the keywords that they have in these videos right here. So they have riots in the description, riots in the keywords, or else this wouldn't have come up. LA riots. So Los Angeles protests erupt over immigration aids. Well, you're calling it riots when you put keywords in there. All of downtown Los Angeles has been declared an unlawful assembly. Los Angeles has fallen. Anti-ICE protesters take over the city. Fox and crew targeted with flashbang grenade while reporting on LA riots. Protester shot in the head with a rubber bullet by LA riot police. Well, good. Tensions rise as Trump deploys National Guard amid LA protests. I've been reading about this all morning, and virtually every comment in every section I read were people from California, people just saying, arrest them already. look, half of these people, more than half, are probably illegal. So, you know what? Time to make some arrests when they come into something like this. Just start scooping them up. There they are. So there's a plan for this. I don't know why I'm getting excited over it, because in no way do I think that this is a surprise to the president and the military. So it just goes on and on and on. People are just sick of this crap. And these people, look, it's fight Trump. Fight Trump what? Legalization, not deportations. No, you're just proving right now why we don't want you in here, okay? This is proof right here why we don't want you in here. We don't want you in here anymore. We're not going to legalize you. Other people went through a process and we don't know who you are, but now we're getting some idea. So you're not getting what you want. You came in here illegally. You broke the law. You have no respect for our laws, and we don't want you here. You have to leave and come back the right way. If you don't want to do that, you're going to have to leave. The end. And this is why we don't want you here. Now you really have to get out. So I would say step it up to warp speed. But then I don't have a say-so in it, do I? So now this to me is all part of the plan. This is not a surprise. And who knows, maybe even Gavin Newsom might be part of it, because they seem to be acting abnormally stupid. Now, one of the things I noticed was when the military, what was it, West Point, or President Trump participates in a Memorial Day tribute at Arlington National Cemetery. Okay. So these things were all focused around the military. There was a bunch of these events. I think they're ceremonies. I do. And look at how white this whole thing is. And it was like that, the whole stage. It was all white. And so I thought it was, well, let's say it could be symbolic of that the White Hats are definitely in control now, but also that we are entering a new era, and also how important the military is going to be, which, I just send you back to the other photographs. Look what's happening. So we need something like this to happen. We need a stupid, clear to everybody that it's not peaceful protesting. We needed something just like this in order to have martial law. And along with martial law will come tribunals, and they'll be international. There's already been so much international stuff introduced when they're looking into Doge and all of these other things, looking into where the money's going. There's already a lot of international names and countries and spies and all kinds of stuff coming up. So Democrat assaults ICE agents arresting illegal. Well, you know what? They're illegal. Do you know what that word means? Illegal. Democrats don't know what illegal means. It's pretty obvious from their behavior. They have no clue what illegal means. Illegal means against the law. They're not here. They snuck in. They don't get to do that. And you people with your masks and your everything else on, taking your Bill Gates experimental vax and all of this other stuff, and you now want to let unvetted people into the country with no disease checks or scans or anything. We don't even know who they are, where they come from, whether they're loaded up with all kinds of diseases and germ warfare to come over here and infect us with. You people are not only the biggest hypocrites, but this whole thing. Okay, so these people need to be arrested, the ones that are assaulting ICE agents, because they got paid to do this. They're either being paid, by the drug cartels or child traffickers. Did you notice how they all rallied around that child trafficker? So these people were getting upset because they were paid to bring these people in. And now they're going to have to answer to the cartel or to Tom Homan, this guy. So now we know this guy is a human trafficker, and that's why they were all, oh, he's a Maryland dad and all this other stuff. Every single one of these people should have their records checked, should have their all of their paperwork looked over to see how much money they've gotten, from where it came, because this guy, they stuck up for this guy. Never mind the alleged MS-13. This guy's a trafficker, a human trafficker. That's why they all gathered around him. All of these people that are gathering around this guy, again, they all need to be audited. From top to bottom, left to right, they all need to be audited. And half of them do not look like the gender they are pretending to be. And this, what is this? Never mind this. What is this? This does not look human at all. It's another judge that looks completely inhuman. That doesn't even look real. Who's doing a humanity check on these judges? A DNA check. They all need to be DNA scanned. God. Emboldened rogue judge doubles down on judicial insurrection. No, what is that? God. Now this. I totally think that this is like what you want to call a wrestling move. I really believe that this was, they already had planned to have a falling out before they ever brought Elon in. You saw the reaction to Elon. Well, first of all, somewhere I have a photo of Elon where it definitely looks like there is a mask there. So I don't even know if that's Elon or not, the real Elon. If the real Elon is actually doing work behind the scenes and they have another one that's out there in public to protect the real Elon, I'm not sure what's going on, but apparently a lot of high-end work has been done. And as far as Doge goes, I don't know. You know, I can think of a lot of reasons why they would move him in and then, you know, with the intention of breaking them up at a later date when it got to be too dangerous or other things started to happen that we have no knowledge of because we don't really know. But as far as I'm concerned, this is part of the show. You know, there was going to be a breakup at some point in time, and it's gotten very dangerous, you know, for Elon Musk, or if it's somebody, you know, who's playing the part of Elon Musk. But remember, these people have a chance to do the right thing. So, you know, well, I've got two thoughts on this. Number one, if they got someone who was super intelligent like Elon Musk to play the role of Elon Musk, they could go in there and do a lot of things with the Social Security Department and like that. Set it up so that people couldn't defraud it again, and also have it going on some kind of automatic, you know, like AI setup where you set the whole thing up and the AI is weeding out the fake Social Security accounts and, you know, all the ones that are over 100 years old, that kind of thing. So that's kind of my feeling. He came in to do a lot of advanced work, whoever. If it's Elon doing the work and they have a fake one out there, but either way, the relationship was going to go by the wayside. I also think this business of bringing up Trump being on Epstein Island was being done in preparation for the Epstein files to come out, because, yeah, he's in the Epstein files, Trump is, because he freaking found out what Epstein was doing, he threw him out of either his hotel or Mar-a-Lago and banned him from there. So that's what you're going to find out about our dearly beloved president. And so that maybe he brought that up because they wanted to get that out of the way or something. I don't know. I just think this is part of the show. It's just kind of suspicious to me. So yeah, now Musk is the enemy and they're not going to let him derail this. I think this is a distraction on something bigger. In other words, it's time for him to see, what's that right there? What's that? So there's something up going on. Anyway, you see what I mean? And I do have a picture of him where it does look like there's a mask on. So anyway, I do think this is part of the plan, was to bring him in for whatever reason. And if it's not the real Elon, it's another one, meaning that Elon has been either arrested or taken out of the equation. But I think either way, they already planned for him to come in, do whatever he did, and then at some point leave. And just like these LA, right? Oh yeah, right. Give us citizenship or we're going to riot. Well, you're carrying the flag of your country that you say you hate, and you're burning our flag. So get the hell out of here. That's my answer. Get the hell out before we have to throw you out. And quite frankly, I wouldn't have anything against them opening up, adding on to Guantanamo Bay. If anybody ever wanted you here before, we definitely don't now after we saw what you've done to LA. And the answer is no, 1,000 times no. Okay?
What if I told you that some of the most powerful people on Earth have already been quietly arrested, and secret trials have been underway for years? This isn't just speculation. It could be the most explosive truth ever revealed in human history. The global elite aren't just losing influence, they're being taken down through secret military tribunals that have been happening behind closed doors for years. This is a pivotal moment in history. Don't look away. Right now, Earth is going through a monumental shift, one that's been quietly building for years. If you felt it, the sense that things are accelerating, that the world is changing faster than ever, you're exactly where you need to be. The old system, the 3D matrix built on control, fear, and manipulation, is finally collapsing. It's been falling apart quietly for a while now, and those who desperately clung to power are losing their grip. But here's the beautiful part. As the old world crumbles, something new and extraordinary is rising. A reality full of truth, healing, freedom, and unity. This is not just another cycle. It's the end of an era and the birth of a completely new reality. We're not just upgrading the old world, we're stepping into a higher dimension of existence, built on light, consciousness, and collective awakening. And yes, it's already happening behind the scenes. The forces behind this transformation are powerful, and not just earthly. The Earth Alliance, made up of courageous individuals within governments and military forces, is working hand in hand with galactic allies like the Pleiadians to bring justice and restoration to our planet. It sounds like science fiction, but sometimes truth is stranger than fiction. For years now, secret military tribunals have been quietly in session. Those who once wielded unimaginable power and caused massive harm are finally being held accountable. Some arrests date back as far as 2018. Many of the names you thought untouchable, they're no longer running the show. Even some members of the dark elite are choosing to cooperate, offering information in exchange for protection or the chance at redemption. Does this erase their past actions? Number, but it shows that the tide is turning. Even those who once served darkness can embrace the light at the last moment. This isn't just about punishment, it's about restoring balance, healing the planet, and creating space for something far better. And here's the most important part. You are part of this story. Whether you're a starseed, an awakened soul, or simply someone who feels the call for change, you're here for a reason. You chose to be part of this transformation. So take a deep breath and know this. Everything you've been sensing, the energy shifts, emotional highs and lows, strange phenomena in the skies, are all pieces of a much bigger plan unfolding right now. And the best news? You're not alone. There are helpers, guardians, and friends from beyond this world guiding us every step of the way. The dawn of a new era is here, and this is only the beginning. You might be asking yourself, is any of this really happening? These secret tribunals are very real. They've been quietly underway for years, far longer than most people could imagine. Behind locked doors, away from the noise of the media and the distractions of everyday life, covert military trials have been taking place in absolute secrecy. These are not your average court cases or headline-grabbing trials. No, these are high-level, no-compromise proceedings targeting some of the most powerful, dangerous, and shadowy figures on the entire planet. The process began as early as late 2018 and into early 2019. That's when key members of what many call the Dark Cabal started to be quietly arrested, stripped of their power, and brought before military judges. Yes, you read that correctly. Arrests, trials, judgments, all happening far from public view. Many of these trials have taken place in locations you might already recognize: military bases, secure government facilities, and other sites known for their high security and secrecy. Some of the highest profile detainees were even transported in ways designed to avoid detection. Prison barges specifically outfitted to move them quietly and discreetly across waters, away from prying eyes. But the process didn't start with the biggest, most infamous names you've heard whispered about. It began with mid-level operatives, the foot soldiers and enablers directly involved in some of the most horrific crimes imaginable, people deeply connected to human trafficking rings, covert black operations, and other disturbing activities hidden from the world's view. These were not...
Oh, look what I found. Look what I found. So here's that thing I was looking for, the meme thing. I have no idea where I got this because I look in all kinds of places for all different kinds of things depending on what I'm looking for. And so I really don't know whether I got this off of X or off of OKRU or where it came from. But look right here. And so, and there it is again. So here's something. But more than what this says. It says, here's the plan, Elon. I'll scuttle the shuttle program. Let me get this in a better position. So they both look younger in this picture. It says, here's the plan, Elon. By the way, this came from the Mega Meme folder. It's called, right here, it's called Obama-Musk Plan, okay? I didn't describe these. Here's the plan, Elon. I'll scuttle the shuttle program, then we'll send, about 4.9 billion your way. But I just need one favor. So I'm not sure what this is all about, but I can tell you one thing. Everything that's happening is happening for reasons that we should not be able to put it together, because if we could put it together, then they could put it together. And it's a, if you want to call it, it's a psyop, like a mega psyop on the deep state. So this, though, this does not look like this right here. Does not look like that. Now, it could be aging and all, but I don't know. You know, this looks a lot creepier. And this looks more normal. So I don't know what the answer is other than the fact that we don't know what we're looking at, really. So I don't think that looks so much like this. This looks very freaky. And this, not so much. So, and this doesn't look like it had a bunch of kids. This maybe. So I don't know. It's Elon Musk ? Well, if there's an Elon Musk mask, maybe there's several Elon Musks. The thing is that I don't think the deep state knows, or they know what to think, because you saw how mad they got at him. So anyway, whatever's happening is what's supposed to happen. But I just give you this to consider. No, this is not that big. It says factrepublic.com. In 1952, Wernher von Braun wrote a book called Project Mars, which imagined that human colonists on Mars would be led by a person called Elon. And here is this right here, and I guess that's it. But if I blow it up, you're not going to be able to read it. So interesting, something to consider. Again, from the Mega Meme folder, felon Musk traders. I didn't describe this, and it's a Musk oil. Says felon Musk for traders, Musk oil. I don't know how to say that. Oh, Huile de Musk, oil de Musk, 33 fluid ounces, 9.7 milliliters. I don't know. I know 33 has a significance, but still strange. Food for thought. Food for thought. I always have to stop myself from saying that when I'm talking about these people. They ruin everything. You got to be careful what you say just because of them. Again, Admiral Lyons on Obama's strategy. U.S. Admiral retired James Ace Lyons. February 11th, 2015, Washington, D.C. The Obama administration strategy is very simple. Any thinking American should be able to grasp it. It's anti-American, anti-Western, it's pro-Islamic, it's pro-Iranian, and it's pro-Muslim Brotherhood. And with that, I'll yield the mic. Boom. Boom. And what time will out, right? Again, from the Mega Meme folder, 16-year plan, Obama, Hillary. So the plan, weaken the military. Well, I've been putting trannies in charge. I mean, what do you think that's all about? Even trannies should admit that I don't even know why they want to be in the military, to tell you the truth. Yeah, I understand why they want to be in women's sports. But these beings that are doing this, these quote activists, they're not regular trannies. Transgenders have gender dysphoria, I guess, is what they call it. But they really believe they were born in the wrong body. And with all of the chemicals and the soy products and the medications, I guarantee you any medication that you took back in the day that said it was for women probably had male hormones in it. And men, any of you men who took medication for like prostate or anything that for male whatever, you can bet it probably is going to turn out that it had female hormones in it. And they would do anything. Does anybody doubt that they would stop at nothing to get us all under control? They want to neuter all of us, okay? They don't want us procreating because there's already too many of us. They can't control us. So that's just one reason. Plus, they want our DNA to monkey around with. Anyway, destabilize Syria, forced EU migration. And so that would have been, we would have had the UN, the European Union, the UN army in here, rounding us up and putting us in camps and stuff eventually. Because this forced EU migration would be, they would have a whole world system for that. fund Iran and North Korea nuclear program. So weaken the military, that's pretty much what they were doing. Also, we were using old equipment and stuff before Trump came along. Anyway, destabilize Syria, forced EU migration. Well, we had Syrian refugees, for a while. Fund Iran and North Korea nuclear program. So that's what they're doing. They're funding the Iran and North Korea nuclear program as per the 16-year plan Obama and Hillary. Obama was the, I forgot what they called him. Hillary was the closer. And renegade and evergreen. So fund Iran and North Korea nuclear program, sell uranium to Russia, smuggle to Iran, right here. Escalate social division and collapse of European Union and U.S., which is what they're just moving right in there and doing it now, trying to anyway, because what else are they going to do? Nuke the U.S. or allies from Iran and North Korea. But they can't really do that now because that, I think, was part of Elon, or I have heard that that was part of Elon's job, was to get them off this planet, find another planet, or figure out a way to get them out of here before, so they weren't here when this happened. Blame Putin, using proof of uranium sale. Conduct a nuclear World War III mutual destruction. So they were going to be gone, though. They weren't going to put themselves in jeopardy. So, here's this right here, going back to this. So we don't really know what the hell's going on, other than the fact that that fight had to happen for a reason. That was, I don't believe, an organic event. We're watching a show. We've been told it over and over and over again. Not only told it, we're constantly being shown that. I mean, they almost always give the, the Galactic Alliance Space Force logo thing with their hands. And let's face it, this is a war of illusionists. It's a war of illusion. We live in an illusion. We are the ones that are not aware, and so at some point you have to trust that there is good and evil, and, go with good and trust it. And in my world right now, I don't have a doubt in my mind that after everything we've seen, I mean, you can't even deny that something big is on the horizon. And so I'm just glad I'm on this side of it. Okay, now don't get mad don't kill the messenger, okay? This person, CAITLYN Clark, they keep, who has a second name of Clark, okay? CAITLYN Clark. Looks just like a guy. Come on, people. Why do people keep insisting that this is a girl? Look. I mean, come on. Look at it. Look at the forehead and the eyebrows and the jawline. For God's sakes, the neck and the shoulders, the whole thing. I mean, come on. I just don't get it. I just don't get it. I just don't get it how it doesn't, people are not questioning this thing's gender. Is there not a test? We should be running people through tests if they're going to play, quote, women's basketball. It just looks like a guy to me. And nobody ever says that. They always talk about this thing as if it's a real woman. It's one of their new, look, Prada. I'm sorry, you guys. I need proof. I need proof. This looks like somebody who's working on, Cats on Broadway or something. He's coming in for practice. He's one of the dancers. No, I just, I'm not buying it. But you guys could get mad at me if you want to, but you got to admit, come on. I mean, it's not just one picture. I mean, they all look funky, if you ask me. I mean, it just looks like a guy, especially the big forehead and the neck. And just all of it, the giant brows and everything. I mean, this really looks like a guy. I mean, I could go on, but you get my drift. Oh, look. Here's another one. All right. Now, this is Leap Castle, which is one of the oldest castles in the world, and it has quite an amazing history. It's located in Ireland. Here, let's go check it out. So here it is, and if we back away here, now take a look at the foliage. Yeah, it looks like it's pretty well surrounded by farmland even now. There's not a lot grown up around it. It's pretty well far out there. Wow. So there it is, out here, just like that in the middle of nowhere. And yeah, so I found, let's just take a look here. Here's some various views of it. It's called Ireland's most haunted castle. And you can see it's pretty forbidding when you look at it. Here's a bigger picture of it. It's called A Terrifying Irish Castle. The castle in question can be dated back to the early 13th century. Well, I want to stop here. There were no castles before the year 1000. And yeah, sure, they had some mud, houses, pretty big mud houses and stuff. But I'm talking castles like this. This here's what I'm talking about. So I guess they started to spring up in the year 1000. But think about that. There were no castles, and suddenly they started springing up everywhere. So, my theory is advanced technology and, certain beings took control and wanted to build these castles for. So when you think about the fact that these castles popped up all at once, most likely, in my eyes, as a result of some kind of advanced technology or even metaphysical technology that we don't know anything about. And they seem to be popping up on certain ley lines and things like that. In my opinion, they are a part of the whole web. So, and if you look, they're not that much different from Epstein Island in the sense that this place is pretty much in the middle of nowhere. And it's been all this time, and it's still in the middle of nowhere. And also, well, let's just find out what happened here, because there's more to this story. A terrifying Irish castle. Now, I want to stop before I read this and go to the original newspaper article that I found. This is from 1898, and it's called Discoveries in Leap Castle. At a certain part, the castle went kind of to ruin, but then they made some discoveries when they were in there. And the thing about Leap Castle is it's very big. Everything in it is very big. Well, it says right here, Discoveries in Leap Castle, 11th century staircase found in an early English structure. An early English structure in Ireland. A Burr correspondent writes that a series of interesting, quote, finds just discovered in the historic Leap Castle have been shown to a number of visitors. The first and most important was an 11th century stone spiral staircase, springing from the first floor level and terminating at the summit of the Great Tower. So, yes, starting here and going all the way up to the top. And that is 100 feet high. This relic of a remote past is in a splendid state of preservation. The finely cut stone steps are laid with mathematical accuracy and are large, like the passage itself. The OKRUs, Princess of Ely, whose chief stronghold this castle was, were all big men. In fact, a race of giants. I would have just selected a race of giants, but this thing won't let you select. On these old newspapers, you just got to take what you can get. But I wanted to mark the place where it said that. A race of giants, big men. Everything in the castle is big. And the OKRUs, in fact, they were a race of giants. And this isn't the only newspaper article that says this about Leap Castle. In fact, a race of giants, as the few relics of them, it says, as the few relics of them attest. I'm not sure if that's a misspelling or what, or just an old word that I don't know. Hence, the reason why everything about the castle is large. So, there you go. The second find is an entrance to the guard room cut out of the rock, and which was up to the present believed to be a mass of solid masonry. Here, numerous bones, coins of the reign of Edward the Confessor, and other relics were found. So, so they found an entrance to the guard room, which I guess is right here or right here. But they thought it was solid rock. They didn't realize that there was another entrance, I guess is what they're saying. The second find is an entrance to the guard room cut out of the rock, and which was up to the present believed to be a mass of solid masonry. Here, numerous bones, coins of the reign of Edward the Confessor, and other relics were found. Well, bones. There you go. Human bones in large quantities. Flints and spearheads were also found in the extensive range of dungeons. The extensive range of dungeons. So let's go back here. You know, if they need to get a hold of, some little people, or they need any kind of nourishment, it looks like they still could pretty much take their pickings from around the castle because there's nobody there. And all of these people have got to be owned by the landowner, It seems like back in the day, they would just be able to pick people up off the streets, or they could send their sergeants and their emissaries out there to collect whatever, kids, moms, whatever, and bring them back here and put them in the dungeons where they would never be found again, and no one would ever dare to question them because there they are. And the doors are extraordinarily tall. So it says human bones in large quantities. Flints and spearheads were also found in the extensive range of dungeons. Sounds like Diddy's house. Sounds like Epstein Island. It sounds like all of them. It sounds like the first versions of these things. Because after all, who has the resources to start popping these things up after the year 1000 all over the globe, if you want to say it, and, on these ley lines and stuff. Something going on here, folks. It says these curious prison houses being rock-hewn and their existence having been previously unknown to the owner of the castle and the lord of the soil, Jonathan C. Darby. Well, so they say. This gentleman is the descendant of the royal house of O'Carrolls of Ely, whose family have remained in uninterrupted possession of the Leap for many centuries. So it started with O'Bannon, but then once the O'Carroll dynasty, I guess, came, the O'Bannon clan had built it, I think. And then the O'Carroll, dynasty or something, they took possession of it. Says uninterrupted possession after that of the Leap for many centuries. The present owner, aided by Mrs. Darby, has put into complete state of preservation the ancient chapel, an apartment 25 feet square and high, which is on top of the tower. And here has been discovered a very large and fine early English window, which from its great elevation commands a view embracing 8 counties. A little below this is a remarkable room, which none of the servants will enter after nightfall. It was the state bedroom of one of the princesses of Ely who was murdered 6 centuries ago by her lord, and the solid oak floor retains the bloodstains of the royal victim. Well, that's the story they like to tell anyway. Maybe it's just many victims being up there, and leaving that. But they'll make up anything. We can see that now. They'll make up anything. They lie like they breathe. So you can't really... We know the floor is saturated with blood. We do know that part. This part of the building is reputed to be haunted. And Mr. and Mrs. Darby, who do not believe in ghosts, admit that they cannot account for the extraordinary noises that occasionally come from the death chamber of the murdered princess. Or maybe they just don't want to explain it, and which make it nearly impossible for them to retain their female servants in their employment. Oh, so the female servants are disappearing one by one. Well, they can't keep them. They can't keep them there. We don't know why. They just keep leaving. Oh, yeah, maybe that has something to do with all the blood stains on the floor. And maybe that has something to do with the shrieks. I don't think any of this is a coincidence, by the way. The manifestations are reputed to take the form of shrieks, which resound and reverberate through the building and set all the dogs in the kennels whining and barking. So there you go, folks, Leap Castle. So I'm going to leave you with a little bit of this, how to never get angry, because look at this. This is absolutely ridiculous. And I certainly, every comment section that I've read on any of this stuff, everybody's like, go in there now, and there's nobody that's for this. So, and if it is, it's probably AI generated, fake, just like these protests are. These aren't protests, these are riots. And so again, I say, you're going to have to go back and come in legally, but now we don't even, and any of these people we don't want back in, okay? And if we were really Nazis, you would already be gone, okay? So now we're going to just fast track it. If ever you had a chance of us wanting you here, it's over now. Over. We don't want you here. You need to get the hell out. And we're going to do what we can to fast track this thing and know that America is behind it. You have to leave and come back the right way. But now we don't even want you to do that. So after this, I'm going to be signing off, and I hope you have a beautiful day. And don't pay any attention to this bullshit.
The loudest man in the room is often the weakest truth. True strength is silent. It does not need to prove itself. Stillness is not doing nothing. It is doing everything without noise. While others react, the master observes. Power is not in motion, it is in control. This is the first truth on the path to inner mastery, yet it is the hardest for most to understand because we have been trained since childhood to believe that every emotion we feel is who we are. We say, I am angry, I am sad, I am frustrated, but these are not who we are. They are simply states passing through us. Imagine a clear blue sky and clouds drifting across it. Your emotions are those clouds. But you are the sky itself, unchanging, unmoved. You are not the chaos you experience. You are the space in which the chaos happens. When someone disrespects you or challenges you or tries to provoke you, the common reaction is to feel the emotion rise like fire in the chest. The heart beats faster, the breath shortens, the fists clench, and before you know it, you are caught in the moment. But in that moment, you forget the one thing that would give you power. You forget that you have a choice. The observer within you is always present. It is the part of you that can see yourself becoming angry. It is the part of you that hears the voice in your head scream, but does not scream with it. It watches the storm, but does not become the storm. This observer is the real you. At the Shaolin temple, the monks do not train to fight others, they train to master themselves. Every strike, every breath, every stillness is a way to discipline the mind, to observe rather than react, to witness the rising of anger and let it go like a leaf floating down a stream. They know that to master life they must master the self, and to master the self they must not identify with the passing emotions, but with the awareness that sees all. When someone tries to insult you or hurt your pride, you must realize that their words are only energy. What gives that energy power is your attachment to it. You believe that their opinion matters. You believe that your identity must defend itself. But the observer does not defend anything. The observer understands that silence is not defeat, it is clarity. Ask yourself, who suffers when you become angry? Who is hurt when you lose control? It is not the person who triggered you. It is you. You carry that fire within you. You burn from the inside out, and in the end you lose your peace, your clarity, your center. When you are the observer, you are no longer dragged around by external forces. You do not dance to the rhythm of someone else's chaos. You choose your own tempo, your own path, and that path is walked with calm, not rage, with understanding, not reactivity. Let go of the need to react in every situation. Let go of the need to be right. Let go of the idea that your emotions define your truth. They are visitors, not residents. Treat them with respect, but do not give them the keys to your home. It takes great strength to sit with your anger and not act on it. It takes discipline to feel disrespected and still choose silence over argument. It takes true power to feel the storm rise and remain unmoved like the mountain. This is not suppression. This is not weakness. It is mastery. It is knowing that you are the awareness behind the emotion, not the emotion itself. You are the sky, not the cloud. And the more you train your mind to observe rather than react, the more you will find that nothing truly bothers you anymore. Because nothing can enter your inner world unless you open the door. And when you live from that awareness, you move differently. You speak with less urgency and more purpose. You listen without needing to respond. You carry peace, not as a concept, but as a state of being. This is why the observer is not affected by chaos, because he does not resist it. He watches, he learns, and he lets go. Your power lies not in what you feel, but in what you choose to do with what you feel. Every time you observe and do not react, you grow stronger, you become more grounded, and no one can shake a man who stands rooted in awareness.